Here's a little EDC micro tool slash survival kit utilizing the pocket organizer pouch, or P.O.P, or P.O.P as I like to call it, the P.O.P kit from Sewjourn Gear. And just got this last week and I've been messing around with it, and quite frankly I'm loving it. And it's super cool, subtle little nuanced invention from Cody over there at Sewjourn Gear. And as an inventor myself, I really appreciate little things like this, and this is going to be a lot of fun because quite frankly it was videos like this that started and built this channel. I started and built this channel doing Altoid survival kits, talking about little organizers, pocket organizers, pouches. If you go back and look, I did a video on this Maxpedition Pocket Fatty like 10 years ago. It's one of my more popular videos. But this guy, the pocket organizer pouch, can literally fit in your pocket. It can fit in your back pocket, cargo pocket, and that's why this is so cool to me, because it really is a solution that you didn't know you needed, right? That's what the iPhone was, right? So that's what's so cool about inventing, is that you can come up with solutions people didn't even know they needed. So let's just go through this. And I did have this fitted out with, I went ahead and clipped my original Rats tourniquet and Sewjourn Gear Pocket Keeper, which I've had for years now, and have taken it out a number of times. I've actually practiced with it a couple times, so I should probably replace it. I did recently pick up, you know, some consumable replacements, if you will. They're brand new, but let's go ahead and check this out, because I got a lot of things in here that I would say, if I found myself in a pinch, I would find very useful. So again, this is the pocket organizer pouch, or the P.O.P. And this is my own personal P.O.P kit, so let's just get to it. Now, first of all, 20 bucks for an American-made quality little pocket organizer pouch. I mean, why not order 5, in my opinion? And I probably will. I ordered 2, and this is my first one. Now, the cool thing that I'll note at first, besides the quality stitching and materials, is that there's a little loop here, which makes it convenient because you can, you know, it was actually a little bit of a chore to stuff this through here, and I'm a little weary about the stretching of it through time, but we'll see how it goes. But you have one here, and I tend to use these loops on the Sewjourn Gear for the carabiners a lot. This is cool. He has a little option to block out if you don't want all of that noise or maximum suspension of the flap. He's got a little blocker here, a little hook and loop blocker, so you can take that out and get a little bit more of a secure closure, right? So that's pretty cool. Now look at this. Look how stuffed I have this thing. And look at the organization, the tabs, the little micro pockets, loops, all kinds of places to organize individual little tiny components. And that's why this is my little EDC micro survival toolkit. So let's just get started. Let's pull some of this stuff out. So conveniently right here, one of the first things that I probably need suddenly is light. So I have this loop here, and I just pull this out, and I have this little tiny Coast KT20R. Is that what that is? No, it's KL20R. Little tiny light. I forget, I think this is like a 300 lumen light, and it's so tiny and fits rather well in a micro survival slash EDC toolkit. So there's that. And then down here, one thing that I like to have in any well-rounded kit is a tiny little compass. And I verified this thing several times throughout the years. As long as you keep it away from other metallic objects, it actually is pretty accurate. Here is a tiny little ferrocerium rod, and I just put it in there just because I had it. It did ride around one of these Altoid survival kits for a number of years, which, you know, This type of thing is so much more convenient than an Altoids tin or a tin survival kit, in my opinion. So we just threw that in there because it's tiny and very usable. So then digging deeper, we have an actual little fixed blade knife. Now there's several edges and blades in the kit, but the reason I included this one is I did want to have something that had a lock to it. And even though it's like the liner lock, or excuse me, the lockback design, it's a tiny little case knife. See that? But I wanted to have something that had a lock on it. So we'll try to speed this up so this doesn't end up being a really super long video. So you can see in this little, I think that's everything that's down here, just loose in the front flap, besides this microfiber cleaning cloth, which is really excellent for your sunglasses, safety glasses, seeing eyeball glasses, or any of your optics, of course. And then one thing that is very interesting that I have down here is one of these, which I call the tube lighters. I don't know what they're actually called, but these I found will actually retain the ability to light for a long time. I was going to make a liar of me. More so than Zippos. And I think that's because of that O-ring that they have on these style lighters. But they take the Zippo fluid, little tubular lighters, and so I have two ways to make fire: a little ferro rod and a little lighter. So I think that's it for what's loose down here. And I lied once again. We have Hearing Pro, just some little disposable earplugs that come in handy when you forget to bring them to the range. So going into the organized section, we have a tiny little Victorinox, and this one actually isn't so tiny. This is the 74 millimeter, I believe it is, Executive. This is the Victorinox Executive. It's a discontinued knife that I found at a thrift store up in Illinois when I was visiting my mom a couple months ago. And the reason I wanted the Executive is because it's not quite the 90 something millimeter Victorinox, but it's not the 54. So you have a decent in-between set of tools, in-between set edge, in-between set scissors. And scissors from Victorinox are excellent. And then we really get into the tool section here. We have a tiny little crescent wrench and a set of Kinepix pliers. These are the mini ones. Boy, they are hard to get out. It's a good thing this isn't like a need to extract quickly survival kit, or we'd be in trouble. So the Kinepix pliers are a really good alternative to some of the I don't know, I would say less quality tools out there. Like, for example, ones from Crescent and Channel Locks, but these are kind of universally understood as being the high quality micro kind of Crescent style pliers out there to this day. But getting back into it, between the crescent wrench and the little mini Kinepix pliers, I can do many jobs. And there's a lot of times that I find that I need to change out batteries or do things with automobiles, especially in the past when I had older vehicles, and I could do probably 50 to 75% of jobs with these two things, these two tools. So then here, in this little perfectly sized slot, we have, for a pen, we have a Fisher Space pen. So a lot of tools already packed into this, and that is just the front section, which is really kind of like the tool section. And then we're going to get into the more consumable, besides one tool that I did put in, and this is a back slot. So you have the front slot, then you have this little tool organizer section, and then you have a big back pocket here. And the first thing I wanted to point out is I remember a number of years ago, I flew up to Pennsylvania to inspect a laboratory for the company I work for. And I was in a hotel room, and I remember I ordered a pizza and some salad. And when it arrived, there was no utensils. I had no way to eat the salad other than pick out the leaves with my fingers. So I'd like to include a little eating tool. And this is kind of a spork, a multifunction little eating tool, which also happens to have a can opener and a cap lifter or bottle opener on it. And I did have a P38 in here, and I was able to remove the P38 for this multifunction tool, which has the can opener function on it. So, but that's it for the hard tools. We'll go ahead and look into the back section. Now this here is kind of a multifunction consumable pack here. You might notice we have a safety pin here. But apart from that, these are mostly soft consumables. So some electrolyte powder. And then we have alcohol wipes for sanitizing tools or perhaps a cut. A couple packets of salt and pepper for seasoning up some food on the go. Maybe you caught a fish or end up with a hard-boiled egg that you just packed in a lunchbox and didn't have any, seasoning for. This is a Celsius powder packet, so roughly 200 milligrams of caffeine plus other vitamins and electrolytes, biotin, a little tiny packet. Alka-Seltzer, because if you do end up with a cold somewhere or need fast, pain relief, it does have aspirin in it, and it has antihistamines and other things. It's kind of a multifunction medicine. I don't tend to use a lot of medicines if I can help it, other than, natural herbal ones. But it's good to have something just to kind of help out in case you get sick on the go. And then we have a little packet full of what I like to call universal lubricant. The rest in here is all Band-Aids, safety pins, and a little bit of old school money, what I like to call biblical money. Some little pieces of silver. Big old Band-Aid in there. So, then in the back, we have, just because we have just about everything else you could have to survive, besides water, I suppose, I included one single packet of peanut butter just to have a little source of calories, protein, fats, just because why not? Just to make it kind of a holistic kit. We did have a Fisher Space Pen. It'd be good to have something to write on, so we have these individually cut out pieces of Write in the Rain pad. This is actually not Write in the Rain pad. This is from a weatherproof notebook. And this weatherproof notebook was taken to a course a couple years ago and had some notes written in it. And I have no other purpose for this other than retaining those notes, which are cherished to me now. So I cut out some of the back pages and sliced them into these individual little weatherproof notes. So I can take notes, leave them, stick them to things with my pink tape. Now, arguably, pink is not ideal for concealment or leaving notes for people, but I happen to like pink. I'm secure in my manhood enough to admit that I think pink is a cool color. Obviously, you've seen my avatar and my synthwave aesthetics, so we needed tape, so I threw that in there, but I'm probably going to replace that with some standard Gorilla Tape, although I don't like Gorilla Tape because it tends to leave residue and black stains on things. But that's it for the Sewjourn Gear P.O.P kit, the personal organizer, pocket organizer pouch from Sewjourn Gear, and my little adaptation, my take on a little personal survival kit that can fit in a pocket of perhaps a shirt, maybe your Hawaiian shirt, the back of your jeans, your cargo pocket, whatever the case may be. And Sewjourn Gear makes awesome stuff. I even have one of their little pocket keepers attached to my doggy rig. So And I got a couple of patches because not only do I like their gear, but I like his theme of looking up. So, peace.